Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Come on in here and sit down with me. Get yourself something hot or cold to drink. Let's open our Bibles up today and look at Psalm 101 today, verses 6 and 7. Now, have you noticed the parallelism within the psalm itself? You know, Hebrew poetry depends on parallelism, and the couplet is the foundation, it's the set stone for all of Hebrew poetry. But here in this psalm, we see parallelism within the psalm. We could call this, in a sense, a chiastic psalm because of the way it's paralleling itself. You'll notice there in verse 4, he talks about a froward heart and about a proud heart, which is the opposite of the perfect heart that he talked about in verse 2, and the perfect way. In verse 6 and 7, we're going to see some more parallelism here in 6 and 7. Let me go ahead and read those, and then I'll point out the parallelism here. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. He that worketh deceit, he shall not dwell within my house. He that tells lies shall not tarry in my sight. Now, do you notice that here in 6, we're talking about his eyes. He says, mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land. What were his eyes on in verse 3? He said, I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. So you see the parallelism there. No wicked thing, however, his eyes are going to be on the faithful people, that is. That they may dwell with me, he that walks in a perfect way. Now, where did we see that before? In verse 2, I will behave myself in a perfect way. So what does he want here? He wants the person who behaves or walks in that same way, the perfect way. So here we have David's inclusion in verse 6. His eyes are on the faithful in the land. They may dwell with me. He that walks in a perfect way, he shall serve me. You see, these are the people that David wants around him. We saw the exclusion there in verse 5 and in verse 4. He's going to exclude the wicked person. Here he wants to include the faithful person. So who's around you? I asked that yesterday, but I want to ask it to you again today. Who's around you? Do you have the faithful around you, or do you have the wicked around you? Now, listen, I get it. I understand. You just can't live life in a bubble, and you can't have all perfect relationships. We don't have that. You know, we don't live in that kind of a situation. Nobody does. But we can decide who we're going to draw in to be our closest associates. Yes, you have to deal with the wicked man who might be working on your car, or who might be, working your field, or who might be doing your taxes, or whatever it might be. I don't know what it is. You have to deal with those people, but do you draw them into your close associates? Who are your closest associates? They should be, if you want to walk in the way of the Lord, they should be the faithful in the land, because the faithful in the land are trying to walk in the perfect way, and they will influence you and teach you and help you with your judgment and show you God's mercy. So you need those people because they're trying to do the same thing as you are. Those need to be your closest associates. You can't exclude yourself from the worldlings. They're there. And you have to deal with them, but you don't have to draw them into your circle. You see? But you can draw into your circle those who walk in a perfect way. So who you're doing business with is important. Who you're selecting to be your dearest friends is important. And then he goes back to 7 and he says, he that works deceit shall not dwell in my house. So again, he's excluding. So he wants the faithful there. And he said, the faithful in the land, that they may dwell with me. He that works deceit shall not dwell within my house. So now we're going back to the exclusion again. He that tells lies shall not tarry in my sight. So let's put it all together now. He said, the wicked person will depart. The one who slanders his neighbor, the gossip, the proud-hearted man, the man who works deceit, and the man that tells lies. All of those people he's going to exclude. But who he's going to include is all the faithful of the land, those that walk in a perfect way. They're going to be in the inner circle. The other people, he's going to exclude them from that inner circle, from, those who are nearest and dearest to him. All right, well, join me again tomorrow, and we'll look at verse 8 and finish off this psalm here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.